How to become an auto broker. Learn all the techniques to master the process of negotiating a vehicle on behalf of your buyer and to become the best auto broker in your area. Click Start.
Hello. My name is Sarah and I will be your assistant during this course. Together we will learn the best techniques to help you to become a successful auto broker in your area. A growing number of auto shoppers, who more and more present a lack of time and patience for buying cars, has developed an interest in hiring a professional to spend the hours and the negotiation hassle in the dealership in their behalf. And because this service has grown in a large scale, a segment in the auto sales industry has emerged to search the nation for the perfect vehicle with the best payment for the consumer. Many satisfied buyers have decided to use this service because the concept of hiring an auto broker is relatively simple. The buyer is not a professional auto buyer, so why go up against a professional auto salesperson alone? In addition, the confusion of financing, fees, add-ons, taxes, and the hurried, jargon-filled nature of the dealership can be overwhelming. It only makes sense to leave the bargaining to someone who won't be fazed by the wheeling and dealing. While there are no set experiences or educational guidelines required to become an auto broker, you will not be able to help your clients if you don't have a thorough knowledge of the auto sales from beginning to end. Fast Sales Training Center prepared this complete and innovative course to overview of all aspects of the auto sales industry. This course will teach you to be a professional auto broker.
Chapter 1. Become an auto broker.
Who is an auto broker? Auto brokers are self-employed individuals who work as intermediaries between dealerships and individuals. The term auto broker is a broad one often used to describe different services offered. An auto broker professional can be an independent broker, a car dealership with a brokerage department of an auto salesperson who works with dealerships and buyers to facilitate a vehicle sale. The auto broker negotiates and brings numerous sales every month, making the broker a valuable buyer to the dealership. The auto broker can negotiate any type of vehicle he chooses, from luxury exotics to economy models. Auto brokers typically are asked to secure both types of vehicles for their buyers. The auto broker sales process. Now let's see how the work of the auto broker works. Buyer contacts auto broker. Buyer is not involved in negotiation. Auto broker negotiates with dealership. Auto broker either delivers or is present at the delivery of the vehicle to the buyer. Buyer enjoys new vehicle. Why does a buyer buy? A buyer goes shopping and purchases a vehicle because the buyer has needs and wants. The buyer has decided it is time to buy a new vehicle. There is a make and model the buyer desires to own. The buyer finds the price he or she wants to pay. When a buyer likes a sales associate, he will bring repeat business to him or her. Be the sales professional, your buyer will always want to hire for a new purchase.
Chapter 2. The auto sales industry overview.
Dealership organization. Each dealership is somewhat unique in terms of its organizational structure and management philosophy, but similarities exist. Dealerships generate profits primarily through the sale of new and used cars acquired from either a distributor or a manufacturer. It is very important that an auto broker understands and knows the organizational chart of each auto dealership where he or she will conduct his or her business, because there will be always key people to work with and decision makers to know.
Chapter 3. The auto broker sales process.
The 10 auto broker steps to the sale. These steps for selling cars are the foundation of a professional auto broker, and each and every one of these items are critical to your success because they have been proven throughout the years. As an auto broker, you should learn and master these steps in order to successfully close a sale.
Remember, people buy things from people they like. Chapter 4. The dealership sales process.
The dealership sales process. If your buyer has decided that they want to go to the dealership to test drive the vehicle and to take deliver there, as mentioned before, make sure you are there with them. In this chapter you will learn, step by step, the sales process, from the moment your buyer arrives at the dealership until they drive out with the new vehicle purchased. The buyer is back to you. This is your moment. Review with the buyer their experience, concerns, and comments. Offer assistance and help. If your buyer is happy with your services, this is the time to give another business card and ask for referrals. Remind your buyer that they are your buyer, and for any needs or concerns, and also for referrals, they should contact you first. Thank your buyer again and exit the dealership with them.
Chapter 5. Introduction to the F&I department.
Who is the F&I manager? The F&I manager essential duty is to process the dealership sales by offering finance and/or lease options in complete compliance with local, state and federal laws and regulations. The F&I manager job description is to help sales associates and buyers to find financing options for purchases. He or she must understand the sales and business practices of an auto dealership and be well versed in all aspects of the lease or loan and financing process. Financing definition. Financing is the act of providing funds for business activities, making purchases, or investing. Financial institutions and banks are in the business of financing as they provide capital to businesses, consumers, and investors to help them achieve their goals. Financing is the means through which the vast majority of large consumer purchases are made. Vehicle lease definition. A vehicle lease is a method of obtaining a new or used vehicle that involves only paying for a portion of the vehicle's actual cost as opposed to having to pay for the vehicle in its entirety. When a vehicle is leased, the buyer is only paying for the portion of the vehicle that they are using over the number of years in the lease agreement. Attention! Vehicle leasing is a great and one of the best ways to generate repeat business. This is why following up with your buyer is critical. As an auto broker, you should have a repeat lease buyer every 2 to 3 years. F&I menu definition. The purpose of the F&I menu is to help F&I managers to present product options to buyers in a simple way, in one place, and to provide buyers all the information needed for them to make their decision and to leave the dealership satisfied with the choices they made.
Chapter 6. Be your BDC department.
Phone lead process. The initial contact. The initial contact with your buyer, which is usually a phone call, is the most important part of the sales process. It sets the stage for the presentation and the test drive. It leaves a very strong impression in the buyer's mind, and it helps the buyer to take their first step toward hiring you to represent them in the negotiation process with a dealership. The inability to convert the initial contact into a real deal will easily undermine the most successful advertising campaign. It's vital to respond and monitor every internet lead you generate. Respond immediately to your leads and you will see measurable sales gains.
Chapter 7. Know your buyer and sell a car.
Have you ever had this situation? You work with a buyer and everything seems to click. The buyer immediately hires your services as an autobroker and you get the sale. You make your commission and feel excited waiting for the next buyer. You treat the next buyer exactly the same way and you get nowhere. Nothing you say seems to work and the buyer goes away. All your excitement goes away and you bring nothing to your pocket. What did go wrong? And why? To close more sales, you need to lower tension and build the type of personal relationship that your buyer wants before you try to sell. And in order to be successful, you need to learn the personality type your buyer has from the moment you introduce yourself to him or her.
Chapter 8. Overcome objections and close the sale.
Understanding objections. Objection is an expression or feeling of disapproval or opposition, a reason for disagreeing. It is the action of challenging or disagreeing with something. Objections are a natural part of the selling process, that is when the buyer is showing interest and it is the moment when you most need to provide more information to close the sale. The more information the buyer has, the easier it is to make the sale. Sales objections are the way a buyer gets the information he or she needs to finally purchase the vehicle. Objections shouldn't be seen as the negative or scary part of the sales process because they give you the entire picture of what the buyer is thinking. They are the chance to focus on the questions that concern your buyer, allowing you to turn those objections into an advantage to help close the sale. 4 steps to overcome objections. 1. Acknowledge. Understand your buyer's true objection. If you are not sure, don't be afraid to ask questions. 2. Align. Show sincerity. Show the buyer that you care about their objection. Make them feel comfortable and not defensive. 3. Solve. Restate all the benefits of the vehicle that would benefit them. 4. Check and confirm. Before closing the deal, make certain that you have a clear path to the sale.
Chapter 9. Organize your business and plan your sales.
You are your own boss. An autobroker, the majority of the time, is self-employed. Most autobrokers work from home and own their own business. In order to be successful, you need to organize your sales department, where most likely you will be your own boss. The advantages of planning. Gives an awareness of time. Gives confidence. Gives proper direction to efforts. Builds good work habits. Plan ahead. Set goals. And review them regularly. Congratulations! You've just completed this course. The Fast Sales Training Center team wishes you success on your journey as an autobroker.